All right. I hope everything is doing the way it should be doing. I am hoping it's doing. My people, blessings to each and every one of you all. Sorry about this. Peace and love to everybody. Blessings to everybody. Anna Renee, your love power God is coming to you a little bit late. Sorry about that. Blessings anyway. I'm here. Things happen. So it's only 10 minutes late, so it's okay, I hope. So my people, I am here once again to continue with this astrology thing. Yes, Thursday at 4:09 p.m. Cali time. Yes, I know. I understand, my people. I get it. I get it. We are still working it out. We are still working out the kinks. We are working it out. We are thankful for you being here at the time that you arrive. So, blessings, everybody. Peace and love to each and every one of you who is Oko. Thanks for you keep showing up. I appreciate that. Even at 4 p.m. Cali time, here you are. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay. But I got to pump these things out anyway, and people will come when they come, and I appreciate it all. So, yes, my people, here I am to deal with Aquarius. All right, Aquarius Sun and Moon. Oh, I appreciate you, Izoko. Thank you for being here and listening. And all who else come. I really appreciate being able to be in front of you all. That's the blessing in and of itself for me. So, my people, yes, today is Aquarius time. Aquarius. It's that age, and I'm getting ready to stand before the fire because we're going to be dealing with the moon in Aquarius as well as the sun in Aquarius. Okay. All right. And I read over this time. I'm not going just free flowing this time. I read over it carefully so I can grasp what our parable writer here, Lynn Birkbeck, is saying. I'm trying to understand. I don't want to be left out there misunderstanding what it is that he's trying to break down through the science. So, my people, I'm thankful once again to you for being here. And so we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. All right. Sun and Moon in Aquarius. And as you guys know, I'm reading from this book right here, Do It Yourself Astrology. And you know what? It's really important, totally important for us who are wanting to understand ourselves better, to do that, to put in that work, to put in the sweat, the blood, the tears, and whatever else is involved, whatever other price you got to pay, that you will understand yourself better so that you can move in a correct way. Because we hate saying it, but there are a lot of people out here, a lot of entities out here, a lot of people who, dare I say it, wolves in sheep's clothing, beautiful people, attractive people, seductive people, sexy people out here who are here to just straight steal your energy from you, steal your energy because you have a lack of knowledge of self. There's tons of these people. I'm not pointing anybody out specifically. We all have heard stories about the different institutions, and there are the different people. There are just so many of them out here that today I was just paying attention to something and someone and somebody and whatever. and just watching this person do what they do, And I'm at this place in my own spiritual walk where I'm not allowing that to bother me because I have to focus on my own issues, my own situations. Okay. But watching how some of these people do their thing, I can understand how I myself, and I think I know a whole lot. I think at least, I think I've studied a whole lot in all the years that I've been here. Somebody like me could easily get snatched up by someone doing their job like they do. Someone who has almost an anointing in manipulating, not necessarily for negativity's sake, but just guiding people down a path that they weren't really going to go down because they don't know what path that they are on, because they don't understand themselves and the things they do. They just get swept with the tide or, just pushed with the flow down a path that is beneficial to that person. I'm not saying that what they're doing is negative, but it's not beneficial to the person who's being taken down the river, unless they want it to be taken down and that's their goal in life, to be manipulated and pushed down a particular path that might not have nothing to do with anything that they may have wanted to get done in this life. But for a lack of understanding themselves, certain aspects of their personalities are plucked and manipulated and played like a violin, and they are manipulated. And that's why, for me, it's so, that kind of stuff terrifies me, being snatched up like that. Not to say that I never have been before in my life, because I have, but at this stage, I'm not trying to be no more, So that's why I have gone back to astrology. It's so it's not connected to anything that's dogmatic or, where you got to plug in like religion or something like that. And I have nothing against religion, but with astrology, you can come to it when you feel like it and leave when you're ready. That's why I've come back to astrology. Plus, it gives so much basic information. And how I feel about reading about the moon in Aquarius tells me that information could be on the money, because I'm not that happy about what I've been reading. But it tells you something. And it's either for you to tap into it or ignore it or whatever. I mean, sometimes the truth hurts, as they say. Or if you feel that it's not true, then, you can walk away. That's the thing. You're not caught into it. It's not something that you get caught up in the way you can in a religion. And religion has a way of creating soul ties to you. I'm just, we know that's true. We know it. So that if you wanted to leave, not everybody wants to leave or needs to leave, okay, or are called to leave if they're in it. But if you wanted to, you have these soul ties connected to you, so that it makes it that much harder to leave if you want to. But here we are with astrology, and we are reading the sun in Aquarius. That was a long, drawn out thing that I just did. Sorry about that. So important, though. It's just so important. So the sun in Aquarius, my people, the essence is living through liberating. That's what Aquarius is about. Liberation, liberating. So you befriend the truth. You have a high mind and a low profile. So a high mind and a low profile. Okay, so Aquarius is the water bearer. And water symbolizes emotion. And that's interesting because Aquarius, if I'm not mistaken, is an air sign. I'm thinking it is, yeah. But it's still a water bearer. So more of that interacting with the flow and the ebbs and the elements moving into each other. So this means that your goal is to experience and to express your feelings without getting wet. That is emotionally biased, overly attached, or upset. In order to accomplish this, you strive to be free of whoever or whatever has an emotionally cramping influence over you. However, in your effort to liberate yourself, you run the danger of throwing the baby out with the bath water by pretending not to have feelings for anything other than the reasonably manageable. See, we Aquarian, whether sun or moon, feel that a lot of us, when we don't fully understand ourselves, feel that we are not emotional. It's the issue is manageableness of emotions. We are fearful of our emotions when we are, not vibrating on our highest level. So let me read that again. However, in your effort to liberate yourself, you run the danger of throwing the baby out with the bath water by pretending not to have feelings for anything other than the reasonably manageable. I can say yes to that. Furthermore, your convoluted mind is able to detach itself from the very fact that you have detached yourself in the first place. I read this before. I'm like, what is this? Okay. Furthermore, your convoluted mind, Aquarius Sun. Now listen, it's not me saying this, okay, Aquarius Sun? This is Lynn Birkbeck saying this, okay? And he said we have a convoluted mind, okay? Your convoluted mind is able to detach itself from the very fact. So you're detaching yourself from the fact that you have detached yourself in the first place. I don't know if I understand that. I'm serious. I don't know. I don't know if I get it. All right. This is why the sun is in its detriment in Aquarius. Okay, the sun is in its detriment in Aquarius, for your will can lose itself in the sky of your urge to be free. Okay? Your will can lose itself in the sky of your urge to be free. Okay? This would not matter if it were not for the fact that more than any other sign, you hold the key to what being a human being is. You hold the key, then more so than anybody else, you hold the key to what being a human being is. This has to do with the truth that originally there was nothing, nothing to fear, like a clear sky. But along with being born came the apparently unchosen situation of being emotionally involved with someone, like your father or mother. As an Aquarian, so he's talking that way out kind of stuff right now. He's talking way out. As an Aquarian, you have chosen to free yourself and others from the family, class, and racial and religious conditionings that hold the truth in bondage. So you have to discover a way of loosening those bonds, which require first having a good look at them. Aquarius is said to put everything in the shop window and to keep nothing back in the shop. Now, whatever that means, okay? This means that in the attempt to present your ideal and most evolved but uninvolved self, your most evolved but uninvolved self, you actually overlook much of your all too human goodness, a goodness that you keep out of sight, regarding it as too emotional or autocratic. Okay. We take it a little bit too far. We don't want to be a part of this whole thing called life here on earth. I guess Let's see. This is one way, but not the right way of bearing water, okay? Or of containing and expressing emotion. All right. The positive and most obvious meaning of the water bearer symbol is that of refreshing the masses. Okay. With the dawning of the age of Aquarius, this is one of the main tasks on humanity's agenda for the next 2,000 years. In order to accomplish this, the Aquarian qualities of teamwork and group effort have to be employed. So if you find that your life is a pointless struggle, okay, it is probably because you are not enlisting yourself as part of a group, a flight of souls aiming for the same goal. We've detached too far. We've detached too much. Okay. It appears necessary for you to place more importance on the sky than on the sun, to put the requirement of the masses above your own individual desires. Okay. Yet paradoxically, it is equally necessary for you to maintain a firm sense of individuality in order to uphold and express the Aquarian democratic ideal and not just be an ego-less space. Above all, Aquarian, you are seeking freedom for yourself and others through developing a greater sense of what life on this planet is about. So you can't be too detached, okay? Which Aquarian can lean to being too detached, more focused on the group, right? Less focused on the individuality. Okay, you got to be focused on the individuality too, Aquarius Sun. So the Sun in Aquarius transformer, which is a set of words, descriptive words to help an Aquarian understand themselves better in a very succinct way. So it goes from positive to negative, from problem to solution, sets of words. Okay. So for positive Aquarian, you are impartial, you are cool, you are broad minded and a fair judge, but in the negative, you avoid intimacy, you are aloof, you are non committal, and you are emotionally inept. Okay, what's the deal? What's the deal with that? Difficulty in relating to the opposite sex. Your mental guard becomes a mindless watchdog. And yeah. Okay, I think I believe that, at least in Aquarian Moon, yes. When I was talking a couple of videos back about being distrustful, is a mindless watchdog, is scared of everything, trying to stay aloof and separated. And it's just fear. So the solution would be to treat yourself with as much understanding as you are afraid to expect of others. He's saying that Aquarians are afraid to expect understanding from people, and maybe that's why they're so aloof and so detached and stuff like that, because we Aquarian energies see ourselves as kind of out there. And we don't believe people are going to be connecting to us, or we're afraid to connect to others or whatever. But you got to be understanding. Okay, that's the solution. Treat yourself with as much understanding, okay, as you are afraid to expect of others. Okay, understand yourself basically. Okay, so positives: you're friendly, you're gregarious, you're humanitarian, you're democratic, and those are good. Yes, friendly, gregarious, humanitarian, democratic. That's all fair from what I can tell. But the negatives, okay? You are impersonal. You take it too far. You're antisocial. That's going real far. You don't have any sympathy. You lack sympathy. That's real hard, okay? And you're hypocritical. All right, what's up? What's the problem? You love humanity, Aquarius, but are not so keen on people. Such aversions are fears that bind you. Okay, you love humanity, the whole group, but on individual people, not too much. Oh boy. All right. So, the solution, the evolving personality turns fear into love. As you develop, that fear turns into love. So, first, you have to acknowledge your fears. You have to acknowledge those fears. I did a special work last night acknowledging fears. I did this very thing. It um it freed me in a major way. Just acknowledging the fears. Fears that I just refused to acknowledge. Things that I was worried about that I refused to acknowledge because I have believed that thing where they say you can't focus on the negative. Don't ever focus on the negative. And so I was not focusing on the negative and not acknowledging those fears. But the minute that I did, it opened me up to look at the thing. Oh, okay, so I have this fear. But that's not really my personality. I don't really have to trip like that. As soon as I acknowledge the fear, I realize that it's not true to me. So I can let it go, rather than pushing it down, trying to hold it back from being acknowledged by me. It ends up becoming a bag. You got to face those fears. You got to face that negativity so that you can reform it. Yes. Okay. So, moral positivities with Aquarius Sun. You are reformist. You're idealistic, inventive, and original, but you can be reactionary, impractical, cranky, and elitist. And the problem with that is it annoys you when someone or something is either too odd or not odd enough. Now, for me, that I can relate to that. I'm not even an Aquarius Sun, I'm an Aquarius Moon. Yeah, it's so weird. If the people are too far off the wall, I'm not too into it. But if they don't have any individuality, then I feel like they're just. Anyway, the solution would be everyone is unique, Aquarius Sun, and has the right to be so. Okay? Others' quirks are reminders of your own. Okay? You just got to let people be whoever they are. Excuse me. You got to let people be whoever they are. Okay? You might not realize that you are judging. Okay? Oh my goodness. Face fear and negativity. Yes, it's okay. You have to. I know it's scary. I know it's scary. Yeah, you go through the entire range of emotions. And then you come out at the front end and you are triumphant because you realize it ain't even all of that. All right. It's a trip. I know. But more positives, okay? You're unaffected, you're convincing, you're intuitive. Take notes. Yes, take these notes. This person, he's pretty good. Lynn Birkbeck, he's good. You're unaffected though, okay? You're convincing, all right? You're intuitive, definitely so. All the talk about the age of Aquarius. And you're outwardly calm. You're outwardly calm, okay? Now we move over to the negative. Let's see what he's saying. Oh, you're mocking. Ooh, all right. You impose ideas, cutting, and you secretly are anxious. So they're saying this author is saying that there's a lot of hidden stuff going on with Aquarius energy. I could say that in Aquarius Moon. I could say it. I don't want to appear to be nervous. I don't want people to see that I'm nervous or anxious or anything like that. Yeah. So yeah, we don't want to. We pretending that we ain't negative or weak or things like this. Okay, but you are, and I am, and everybody is. Mocking, imposing ideas, cutting, and secretly anxious. Okay, so the problem could be as you observe and deride others' weaknesses, they leave you uncomfortably alone with your own. This guy in his parables, I love him. Okay, as you observe and deride others' weaknesses. I mean, I think I just did that at the beginning of this video. I think I just did that, talking about those people out there ready to mess you all up. And I'm not even Aquarius Sun, I'm Aquarius Moon. Okay, I did observe it. Okay, I observed what I observed. All right, but as you observe and deride others' weaknesses, they leave you uncomfortably alone with your own weaknesses. Wow, that's serious right there. Okay, the solution to this is to err is human. Okay, and your sense of the truth is all the more appreciated for being so. Your sense of the truth is appreciated for being so, being your own sense of the truth. And I guess what he's saying is that everybody has their sense of the truth. Okay, Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, everybody has their sense of the truth. Okay, even those people out there that are manipulative. Okay, out here trying to make you do things that you had no intentions. They have their sense of the truth too. I guess I can acknowledge that. I'm just playing. Okay. So more positives for Sun and Aquarius. You're clownish, free. Well, we like to be, free thinking, free loving, open ended. Okay, but we can also be sarcastic, scatty, flighty, and pointless. I don't know if that's. Do you feel like that, Yuzoko? Pointless, flighty, scatty, sarcastic? I don't know. It's going to go even harder once we get to Aquarius Moon. I know it, okay? So the problem, if so, is you're being afraid of presenting an emotional persona, okay? You miss your, okay, let's do this again. Being afraid of presenting an emotional persona, you miss your role in the human drama. Because you're afraid of presenting a particular human persona, in an emotional persona, you miss the entire thing. You miss your role in the human drama. All right, okay. Oh, I'm sweating bullets right here. All right, the solution is life is a masquerade, okay? Removing one mask merely reveals another. Enjoy the masquerade. Live life. That's what he's saying. Okay. Life is a masquerade. As soon as you take off one mask, you reveal another mask. Okay. So enjoy the masquerade and live life. All right. All right, sir. If that's what you're saying we got to do, then let us do it. All right. So let's skip on over to the moon in Aquarius. Okay. All right. So the moon in Aquarius is going to be security, as the moon energy is always about security. Security through liberating. Okay. And Aquarius energy is about liberating. So invent yourself, he says, and long distance love. Long distance love. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay. I don't think he's talking about me. I've never had that before in my life. And I'm an Aquarius moon. So let's see what he's talking about. Security is gained through liberation. which means that idealistically you aspire to be free of negative emotions such as greed, fear, anger, jealousy, etc. Yes, I can say that about myself. I can say that. I have always wanted to be free of greed, fear, anger, jealousy, and a love of money. Always wanted to be free of that. But you should be careful not simply to pretend that you are so, for this can lead to others expecting you to be impossibly tolerant of their negative emotions. So, though I may, as an Aquarius moon, aspire to be free of negative emotions, I should definitely not pretend like I am free of those emotions. Don't trip myself up. Don't trick myself into believing I'm free of them, but I'm not, okay? But if but you should be careful not to simply pretend that you are so, for this can lead to others expecting you to be impossibly tolerant of their negative emotions. Okay. As Aquarius is the sign of humanity, with the moon placed in it, you should remember to be merely human and not more than human. Okay. Okay. All right. Being unaware of your feelings and natural instincts can mean that you will attract quite drastic upheavals and confrontations as your unconscious mind makes a bid to get you in touch with who you truly are, as opposed to who you like to think you are. Okay, wow, that's serious because I had two husbands and they both were dramatic in ways that I didn't like. Okay, extremely dramatic, as a matter of fact. The first one, dangerously dramatic, you know. One of these days, I'm going to talk about stuff like that. I hate to talk about it because I don't want to look like I'm trying to throw him under the bus or that kind of thing. But I should be able to talk about negative experiences if that is what I want to do. If I want to talk about them, I should be able to, you know. But I have been protecting his. I'm not sure what I've been doing. I don't know what my emotions are. Tell me, help me out here. I don't know. Okay. Being unaware of your feelings and natural instincts can mean that you will attract quite drastic upheavals and confrontations as your unconscious mind makes a bid to get you in touch with who you truly are as opposed to who you like to think you are. So yeah, your unconscious, the energies will attract you to drama, to force you to express emotions that you might have pushed down, you know. So you end up okay, you're closed off emotionally, but you end up hooking up with somebody who's completely dramatic or negative or something. Well, I can say yes to that, definitely. Emotional experiences of your mother, it's always mother energy in the moon, and your childhood have often been disruptive, alienating, or out of the ordinary. Now, not disruptive, but alienating, yes. And I don't blame my mother. You know, it's just that situation that happened where I wanted to stand up for her, you know, in a negative situation. I wanted to use my Sagittarius fire to protect her or stand up for her when I was a teenage girl, and she shut that down on me. I allowed it to go too far. I guess I would completely shut down, but I was just a teenage girl, so yeah, you know, alienating. I was alienated from my fire energy. I can say that. It's not her fault, you know. I'm not blaming her, but yeah, it did happen as a moon in Aquarius. This stuff is really real, you know. Although these also help to get you in touch with your individual feelings, they also probably initially distance you from so-called normal social interplay. Probably. Thus, you began to become an observer of rather than a participant in life. Yes, I definitely say yes to that. Definitely. Which gave you an awareness of human nature. Yes. Okay. Now, as the natural psychologist or counselor, you are sought after professionally or personally for your fitting and impartial advice. So, yeah, you could be good at that as an Aquarius moon, but what about your own stuff? Okay. Another type of emotional response peculiar to moon in Aquarius is usually experienced in adolescence, but leaves its mark for years to come, they're saying. This is the inclination to think of yourself as more emotional than you in fact are. That's hard for me to grasp what he means by that. With the result that you become romantically attracted to others who are indifferent or unavailable in some way. Okay. I mean, yes, yes, and yes. Okay. Indifferent, unavailable. Yeah, like I was saying, X number two had a wall up that I could not break through. And I mean, this is not, he's talking about this is adolescence. Now, this, I was in my 40s at this point, couldn't break through. Why did I attract someone who was so unavailable, completely? I can say the same for the first. There was a wall up with him too, you know. Hmm. This pattern persists, Aquarius moon, until you realize that you are trying too hard and that it is your own air of unavailability that is so attractive. You know what? I'm going to have to meditate on this. I don't even understand it. My own air of unavailability that is so attractive to me or to others. I guess to others who are unavailable. My unavailability is what was attractive to those people who were also unavailable. However, this can be carried to the extreme where you are emotionally unreachable and thus remain attracted to the unattainable or the far distant. Okay. I'm not trying to be like that at this stage of my life. Okay. An important need of yours is to have a lover as a friend. Okay. It is vital for you to be able to share and to discuss views and feelings on an intellectual level. Yeah. I mean, I wanted that. Until this kind of relationship is attained, you tend to be happier in a group situation, okay, rather than an intimate one, okay? So you don't like intimacy unless it could be a friend. That person can be a friend that you feel free and open to be able to discuss things with, have intellectual conversations with. I can say that the people that I attracted weren't interested in intellectual conversations. Not really. Not maybe number two was uh, interested in uh, politics a little bit, but not a whole lot. With not to talk with me, not too much. But wow, I've been just not doing the right thing in terms of relationships. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad. Okay. An important need of yours is to have a lover as a friend. It is vital for you to be able to share and to discuss views and feelings on an intellectual level. Until this kind of relationship is attained, you tend to be happier in a group situation rather than an intimate one. In this way, you are able to disguise or to forget your emotional fears as things can be kept light and breezy. Okay, for this reason, a group situation is best for getting you in touch with your feelings. Oh, okay. You can then get back into the one-to-one scene with a renewed sense that it is all right to be an emotional being, okay, which seems to be a problem for the Aquarius moon. Those emotions are something else, I tell you, because we don't have it balanced very well. That's why, you know, not until we do. We feel better when we are in a larger group where we can hide a little bit, you know, rather than somebody right like this, you know. Your need for freedom of expression is ever present and will consistently jolt others as well as yourself out of any complacency that has built up through mere illusions of freedom. Okay. This can produce much mood swinging and unpredictability. But with an Aquarian moon, you know that in order to be moved to liberation, one first has to be stirred, if not shaken. Shaken, not stirred. Stirred, not shaken. All right. Oh, I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do. Still, it's a lifetime. All right. So, the transformer in the moon of Aquarius, the moon in Aquarius. Positives are that you are impartial, dispassionate, broad-minded, and candid. Okay. But the negatives are you're impersonal, not earth, okay, indiscriminate and insubstantial, okay. So the problem is the unbearable lightness of being, okay. That's the problem. Feeling that you are not quite here. I don't know if I feel like that. Not quite here. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't feel like that. I don't think I do. So the solution would be choose a standpoint that allows you to be fair and comfortable with yourself. Choose. That's what you got to do. Choose. Okay. So, more positive for this Aquarian moon. You're courteous, you're friendly, you're human. That's, that's the positive. I'm human. Okay. You're a good listener. I don't know that I feel that I'm inhuman or something above human. I don't I don't know. All right. But the negatives could be you're artificial, you're superficial, you're unreal, and you're unresponsive. That's just heavy. I don't feel that way. I really don't. Okay. So the problem is you're feeling very unsure of what you are feeling. Has he read me or what? Okay. Unable to show yourself. All right. So the solution is remember what you really like about people is that they belong to the same species as you. So there's a lot of trying to make us remember that we're humans. There's a whole lot of that. Okay. I don't know that I feel that I'm not human though. I don't know. All right. So more positives. Okay. You're reformist. You're progressive. You're intuitive and individualistic. Or in the negative, you are rebellious, unpredictable, insensitive, and you are a misfit. All right. So the problem is you're at odds with yourself. Secretly dwell on the chances of getting even. At odds with yourself, you secretly dwell on the chances of getting even. Okay. So the solution is your personal view of the world is both your cue and your clue to bettering it, not beating it. Okay, I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. Because I'm at odds with myself, or Aquarian moon energy could be at odds with itself. It gets upset and wants to prove, I'll get even with you. I guess that's what he's saying. So your personal view of the world is both your cue and your clue to bettering it, not beating. You're not trying to beat the game. I could say that about, if I'm being brutally honest about myself, I could say that about my entire YouTube situation. I I felt like that concerning YouTube. I mean, let me just be real here. Let me just say that I'll get you, algorithm. I'm gonna get you. Okay. Anyway, your personal view of the world is both your cue and your clue to bettering it, not beating it. So I'm not trying to beat the rhythm. Okay. Okay. Not trying to beat it. Okay. So the positives, more positives. You're your own person. You're paradoxical. You're knowing and you're open. Or in the negative, you're stubborn, perverse, you're a know it all, or you're closed. Okay. As for being perverse, no. Stubborn, yes. My mother used to tell me that all the time. You're stubborn. You're stubborn. I guess that's why she said that when I was a 16-year-old. No, you're not going to do it. You're not going to go off. Lady Libra. Oh, okay, let's see. Yay, I caught a live. I'm an Aquarius rising. Okay, welcome, welcome, Lady Libra and Derica Wilcox. I saw your little message to one of my videos earlier, Derica. Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, this Aquarian moon energy. Okay, the Aquarian moon energy is something. I'm on trial right now because I am an Aquarian moon, and I'm resonating with most of what this author of this book is saying. Like I said before, it's a fabulous book. It's about getting it in if you want to get it in. If you don't want to get it in, then you probably don't want to read this book. You don't want to listen to my videos, and you don't want to get it in. If you're serious about transformation and bettering yourself so you can tap into the majesty of the world, okay, and the manifest beauty and the money and all that other good stuff too, you got to get on a higher realm of yourself. And if you have some issues, you got to face them without, beating yourself up, tearing yourself apart, and all the rest. For me, this moon in Aquarius is where I'm seeing a whole lot of my main issues have been in my life. This is very powerful energy, and it's the aspect of my personality that has held me back from where I would prefer to be. I would prefer to live in the hills of Oakland, driving a Cadillac. That's what I would prefer. Being able to get up and go traveling all the way through the Southwest at the whim of my mind. Okay, that's what I would prefer. But as it is, that's not the way it is as of yet. If you don't like people, if you're afraid of your emotions, you don't know where you stand and all this other stuff. Yes, thank you, Miss Derica Willock. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate doing this work, okay? Lady Libra, I'm in judgment as well. I won. I had a major manifestation come through today. Right on. Right on, Lady Libra. Right on. That's what it's about. You want to win. You want to get your manifestations. And a lot of times they are connected to you facing yourself very well. Because if you don't, you're going to attract energies that are going to force you, the universe, God, Jesus, Buddha, or whatever we call it, right, is trying to get you to raise up. You're going to attract, I attracted two really energetic kind of people that left me feeling a particular way. I had to run from both of them. I ran away from both of those jokers. Yes, I did. Because I got a PhD in running. Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. So let's go over this again. Yes, congratulations, Lady Libra. Yes, 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 yes. Own person. Okay, the positives of the Aquarian moon. Paradoxical. I don't know if that's positive, but that's what he's saying. You're knowing and you're open, or you're stubborn, perverse, a know it all, or you're closed. Okay? And the problem is having both fixed ideas and a liberal attitude gives both you and others a tense time. So this is serious right here. Because Aquarius is a fixed sign, right? But it's also the liberator, and you're liberal. Aquarius is supposed to be so very liberal, but it's also fixed. It's a fixed sign. All right. So having both fixed ideas and a liberal attitude, that sounds hard. Gives both you and others a tense time. Yeah. Hmm. So the solution is knowing and accepting that feelings are irrational is your ticket to freedom. Okay. See, that probably is where the whole thing lies right there. The irrational part. That's probably the whole thing. The fear of what's irrational for the irrational minded. They don't like feelings because they're irrational. They don't connect to rationality, you know and that's probably the main reason why we just don't get off on those emotions. They flip back and forth so easily. They don't have no rhyme or reason, for real, for real. If you're trying to deal with it rationally, okay. But if you know and accept that feelings are irrational, you have just gotten your ticket to freedom, which is what you are all about as an Aquarian. You're into that liberation, all right? So just accept that they're irrational, okay? Okay, yeah, autocorrect is always weird. So the last of it, we're almost done, my people. Okay, you are observant. You're cool, Aquarius moon. You're unbiased and you're detached. Oh, okay, that's in the positive. Or if it's in the negative, you can become aloof, icy, okay, non committal, and remote. All right. The problem again is it begins to bother you, Aquarius moon, that you only seem to enjoy your freedom. That's the way he wrote it, freedom, quote unquote, on your own. Okay. Yeah. hmm I really relate to that. I definitely relate to that. You only enjoy your freedom. I mean, because we think so much of the freedom piece, right? Freedom is so important to us, and I've always believed that energy of the freedom that I've always felt and have always tried to protect my freedom. I always thought that had to do with my Sagittarian energy. I did not know that it really was connected to my Aquarian energy. But the freedom, okay, it's starting to bother you that your freedom, you can't enjoy your freedom unless you're by yourself. All right, so the solution is to look, and you will see that there are others just as far out as you think you are. Befriend them. All right, yeah, I can get with that. Just start looking for the weirdos. Weirdos, quote unquote, far out people, and befriend them. I'm attracted to people who, move to the beat of their own drum, stuff like that. All right. So look, and you will see that there are others just as far out as you think you are. So just become friends to them. Okay. connect with people, interact with humans, break free of your emotional fears. I'm talking to myself, you guys. Talking to myself. And all who are Aquarius moon and that Aquarian energy, which is about liberation. We want our freedom and we want it now. And we don't want to connect to the needy, greedy, grasping hands of the emotional. But that creates problems in our lives, okay? Because we are human beings, we are emotional beings. We need connection with other human beings who are emotional beings. So we have to interact with those emotions. Yeah, and they're messy and they're irrational and all that kind of stuff. We can't keep running, Izoko. We can't. She was, oh my goodness, the running part. No, because I find myself running every single relationship, every single encounter, running. No, it's no good. It's it's us. We got to get our thing together. You see me over here sweating bullets. I got my fan on and I'm still sweating. It's not easy, and I might be looking like I'm joking, right, and playing, but for real, I'm serious. It's not easy to do this work, especially the moon energy, which is always about emotions and your relationship to your mother. And we know that the mother is the first teacher, of course. Okay, and so you're going to pick up on a whole lot of your mother's energies, and whatever her issues were, you're probably going to get a little bit of that. And then you got to work through all these different things. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful to do it anyway. Because when you break through, you know how it feels when you break through, okay? It's liberating when you do. So, my people, that is everything. I got a whole lot of more meditating to do on this whole thing. I've read it once, right? I've read it to you guys, but I need to read this again and again and maybe a bunch of more times, because I relate that much to the way this particular author breaks it down. Is that serious for me, at least it's been. So, my people, peace and blessings to each and every one of you all. And this has been the Sun and Moon in Aquarius. We got one more left for the Sun and Moon, and that is Pisces. Then I'm going to go all the way through it again. And we're going to go starting at the beginning. Derica Willock. This message is on point today. A lot of dreams and realizations lately about what I need to do to live the life I've always dreamed of. I must get out of my own way and step out of my comfort zone. Yep. And you know what? There are ways for us to make it a little bit easy. That's why I like astrology at the very least. Okay. It breaks it down. It puts it in your face. It puts it in your face. And if you move from that, you can figure out what to do, where you should go, which direction you should go. Do you realize that there are like tons of people who don't even know what they don't know? They don't know what's up with themselves. They don't, and they just keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. And they just get used to those mistakes. They don't ever get where they're trying to go. They don't know where they're trying to go. They don't know that they should be trying to go somewhere or do something. There are people like that, because they don't understand themselves. In that kind of a situation, a lot of times people then want to follow after some kind of a guru, after some kind of a leader, somebody who's going to then tell them what they should be doing. And that's where religions and different kind of groups come into play, and it depends on whether or not the group is a good one. Now, I'm not saying that hooking up with a group is a bad thing automatically. It depends. Or I'm not saying that hooking up with religion is a bad thing. It depends on who you are hooking up with, and whether they resonate with you or whether they have manipulated you. Some people don't ever get to the place where they understand themselves better. But you guys are leaders, okay? I'm speaking to leaders, okay? I'm always speaking to leaders. long time ago, this channel was called, well, not even a long time ago, last year, this place was called You Are Leaders. And my little catch phrase that I used to say, you could be the leader of tens, hundreds. You are leaders, but you can be the leaders of tens, hundreds, thousands, or even millions. But the most important leader to be is the leader of one, yourself. That's what I used to say. We are leaders. And so with that, you have to go forward. If you're trying to learn what your issues are, then you got to go forward and learn. And this is what my issue has been. Weirdness when it comes to these emotions. So, my people, that's it. It's Oko. Big Facts 100. Oh, let me go all the way. Lady Libra, what a great vibe on this channel. Thank you, Lady Libra. Yes, I try to keep it real. You know, it's about being real. And if freedom is important to me, which it is, then I got to be real. If I'm the one who's blocking my freedom, then I got to admit that. And it would have been better if I'd have figured this out when I was 40, you know. And I wouldn't have had a second ex. You know, I only would have had one ex. But anyway, all right. It's Oko. Big Facts 100%. Yes, exactly. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, Lady Libra, your network is your net worth. Yeah, who you connect with and who you're with is important. It's important. Okay, now if you don't connect with nobody, if you're hiding somewhere, then what? That my network? I can say yeah. Looking around my house, I can say yes, but not for long. I intend to be up in those Oakland Hills. Yeah, driving a Cadillac. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So, my people, peace and blessings. Thank you all for being here. Yes, next one will be Pisces Sun and Moon. We're going to see what time it is with Pisces energy. And I say that we should check them all out, because the truth of the matter is that if you look at your entire chart, then everything is in your entire chart. Yes, just because your sun is in a particular sign does not mean that the rest of the planets were there too when you were born. A lot of people, when it comes to their sign, they only deal with the sun. They don't pay attention to others. But even for me, reading what it says here in Aquarius Sun, and I'm not an Aquarius Sun, I'm a Sagittarius. I still resonated with a lot of what was said in Aquarius Sun, you know, even though I'm an Aquarius Moon. You know, the energy is the energy. It just depends on what planet, how it manifests. It's still the same, It's still about liberation if it's Aquarius. So it's going to be quite interesting when I start reading from Mercury in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius, okay, Saturn in Aquarius. I intend to do all of that. All right, my people, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I need to sit down and do something. I'm not sure what. Crochet. It's the thing that helps me to calm my overactive mind. That's why I got tons of stuff sitting over here. Thank you all. Okay, let me out of here. Derica Willott, so cool. You're a Sagittarius Sun and a Libra Moon and rising. Now that's interesting, because I'm a Sagittarius Sun, a Libra rising, and an Aquarius Moon. You know what? It's interesting how we all sort of just connect with each other. Similar energies connect. Okay. A lot of Libras here, a lot of Libras. You see why you love me? Oh, well, thank you. Yes, Sagittarius, Libra rising, Aquarius Moon. All right. So, my people, peace and blessings. Good night to you all. Thank you for showing up.